All right, so, sometimes you see something and you just get to know more.
Hmm.
And I'm talking about seeing searches trending, like snow in Houston. Like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, unusual.
But then alongside that, we're seeing Florida snowstorm. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
Something's going on here.
Yeah, what is happening? And then on top of that, New Orleans live cam, and those are always fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But what's the connection here? So we decided to dive in and try to figure out what's going on with all this weather, huh?
Yeah, it looks like a single weather system, but hitting all these places with wildly different climates.
Totally. So let's start with that snow in Houston thing. Now, I know Texas can get some pretty, crazy weather sometimes,
Right.
but just how unusual is it to actually get snow in Houston?
Well, I mean, that's why we're seeing all these searches for Houston, Texas snowfall. Last time it snowed in Houston, I mean,
Okay.
significant snowfall, enough to measure, not just like a dusting.
Right.
That's actually pretty rare in Houston. You have to go all the way back to 2017 for something like this.
Wow.
And even then, that was pretty unusual.
Huh. So that's probably why we're also seeing a lot of Houston Transtar, road closures, Houston road
Well,
conditions.
sure. I mean, think about it. Houston's built for heat, not snow, right? They don't have the infrastructure for snow plows and dealing with ice.
It's all palm trees and swimming pools down there.
Exactly. So this kind of weather could really mess things up. Transportation, the power grid, even emergency services, everything.
Makes sense. But now I'm also seeing reports about snow in Florida. I always thought Florida was,
Sunshine State.
yeah, like beaches and sunshine. How is
Yeah.
that even possible?
It's definitely not common, but it can happen. So what we have here is a really strong Arctic air mass,
Okay.
and it's pushing way further south than usual. So when you see searches for weather forecast, snowstorm Florida, or blizzard warning, that shows you just how intense this thing is. I mean, we're talking about blizzard conditions in places that barely even get below freezing normally.
So hold on. Are you saying that this is the same storm that's hitting both Houston and Florida?
That's what it looks like.
It's crazy to think about one weather system causing so much disruption across such a huge area.
It's definitely unusual. We're talking about this massive system, stretches from the Gulf Coast all the way over to the Atlantic. And to add to all that, we have New Orleans live cam trending too,
Right, right.
and New Orleans snow totals.
So is the Big Easy getting hit with this too?
Yep, snow in New Orleans.
I mean, it's like the whole map's been turned upside down.
Yeah, I mean, New Orleans does get a little colder than Houston or Florida,
Right, right.
but significant snowfall, that's still pretty rare.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's happening at the same time as Houston and Florida, I mean, that shows you just how big and intense this system is.
It's wild. And you know what else is trending? Snow on the beach. I mean, that's just,
That's a picture, yeah.
yeah, it's like surreal. But, it's more than just a pretty picture. I'm seeing searches for weather near me, today's weather, even today's weather,
Yeah.
with the misspelling.
Right.
Shows you that people are concerned about, what this means for them no matter where they are.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, you see searches in Arabic too. CO. It shows that this is a global concern. I mean, extreme weather doesn't care about borders or languages.
Yeah, we're all connected when it comes to this stuff. So what does all this mean for the folks who are actually in the path of this storm?
Well, like we said, this is a widespread system. So we could see disruptions across several states. I mean, you see terms like blizzard, snow accumulation, IH, air court trending.
Right.
People are worried about travel, road closures, power outages, the whole 9 yards.
Especially with that airport, huh?
Yeah, IAH, that's a major hub.
Yeah, yeah.
Disruptions there could affect the whole country.
So to kind of sum up, we have this massive storm, tons of snow blanketing the south. Is this just like a freak thing? Or, is there something more to it?
That's a good question, and it's something that a lot of people are wondering about.
Right.
Now, you can't directly link any single weather event to climate change, right? But scientists have been warning us that as global temperatures go up, we could see more extreme weather patterns.
Right, right.
So this storm, unusual as it is, I mean, it could be a sign of what's to come, a glimpse into the future.
Yeah, that's something to think about. So we've gone from snow in Houston to a much bigger conversation about, the power of nature and what could happen as the climate changes. So what's the main takeaway you'd like to leave listeners with today?
I think it's this. Even with all our fancy weather forecasting, nature can still surprise us.
Hmm.
And these surprises can have a huge impact. And it shows how interconnected we all are,
Yeah.
and how important it is to be ready for anything, especially as we face more and more extreme weather in the future.
Well said. This deep dive has given us all a lot to think about. So, what does this unusual weather event tell you about our changing climate and how connected we all are? Think about that, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Sounds good.
All right, take care.
You too.
See ya.